Okay, I want you to visualize something with me. It's, say, 6:30 a.m. The room is dark. Your alarm goes off. Maybe it's that awful radar sound, or maybe it's birds chirping. You reach over, you silence it. One eye is kind of glued shut.
Yeah.
And then what happens next? Be honest.
Oh, I don't even have to guess. The thumb has a mind of its own.
Right.
It just slides right over to the notifications, email, social media, the news, maybe a text. Before your feet even touch the floor, you've already uploaded the world's problems right into your brain.
It's the doom scroll before you've even had coffee. And look, we're not here to shame anyone. I do it, you do it. But we are diving into a source today that suggests this tiny automatic habit is a symptom of something much bigger.
It really is. We're surrounded by these tools that define our life, yet we often feel completely overwhelmed by them.
Totally.
So today we're looking at Adam's Essential Guide to Modern Technology. And honestly, when I first saw the title, I was a little skeptical.
Okay.
I thought, all right, is this going to be a manual on how to, use a mouse? It sounds incredibly basic.
That's what I thought, too. Essential Guide. It sounds like it's written for someone who just woke up from a 30-year coma.
But you're saying there's more to it.
So much more. Once you get into it, you realize Adam isn't writing a technical manual. He's writing, I think, a philosophy book disguised as a tech guide.
Interesting.
He's tackling that fundamental question we're all secretly asking but are too busy scrolling to really think about. Is this stuff actually helping us? Or have we become accessories to our own devices?
And that is the mission for this deep dive.
Yeah.
We're going to strip away the jargon, no buzzwords, no complex tech talk. We're going back to basics to figure out the double-edged sword of connectivity, the reality of AI, and, who is actually in charge here.
Right.
But we have to start with the foundation. How does Adam actually define technology? Because I feel like today we define it as magic black mirrors that steal our attention.
Well, Adam pulls it way back. He offers a definition that is deceptively simple, but it frames the entire rest of the discussion.
He says technology is simply tools and machines that help people do things more easily.
Do things more easily. That's it.
That's it. It's all about friction removal.
See, that's interesting because I think we've lost sight of that. We think of technology as content or entertainment or distraction.
Precisely. To understand the why, you have to look at the before. Adam draws this really stark contrast to the past. Think about washing clothes 100 years ago.
Right.
It wasn't just a chore, it was a half-day physical labor event. You're hauling water, scrubbing boards, wringing things out.
So much work.
So much friction. Now, you throw it in a machine, you press a button, that is technology. It isn't about the machine itself, it's about the time and energy you just got back.
So if we view it through that lens, the fear kind of goes away. Adam has this section where he insists technology is not difficult or scary. And I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
For a lot of people, technology is scary. My dad looks at a QR code on a menu like it's a bomb about to go off.
And that's a valid fear. But Adam argues that fear comes from misunderstanding the relationship. If you see the phone as this, mysterious alien intelligence you have to appease, it's terrifying.
Right.
But if you see it as a slightly more complex hammer, a tool designed solely to help you do something, the fear dissipates. It's just a utility.
A utility, like plumbing.
Exactly. You don't fear your kitchen faucet. You don't wonder if the faucet is judging you. You just turn it on when you need water. Adam wants us to get to that level of emotional neutrality with our devices. They are helpers, nothing more.
But here's the rub, and this is where the modern part kicks in. My faucet doesn't beep at me at 2 in the morning demanding I look at it.
No, it doesn't.
My hammer doesn't track my location.
That is the crucial difference. And that leads us to the core theme of the guide, the thing that separates the user from the used. Awareness.
This goes right back to the morning routine we started with.
Right. Adam doesn't say, don't check your phone. He's not a Luddite. He's not saying throw it in the river. He says, notice that you are checking it. If it's a reflex, if your hand is moving before your brain is awake, you're being used by the tool. The tool is controlling the start of your day.
But if it's a choice,
If it's a conscious decision, I need to check the weather or I need to see if that email came in, then you are using the tool. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything.
it's about intentionality. That seems to be the word of the day.
It's the difference between driving the car and being a passenger in a runaway vehicle, and nowhere is that distinction more critical than with the device Adam calls the Swiss Army knife of the 21st century.
The smartphone. I love that description because it really is everything now.
It is. Adam lists the obvious things, calls, photos, messages. But I was surprised by how heavily he leaned into the education angle.
Oh, I love that section too. We tend to think of the phone as just a distraction machine. But Adam points out that for a beginner or a student, this is the Library of Alexandria in your pocket.
It really is.
You can learn language, watch a lecture, learn how to fix your sink, all while waiting for the bus.
It's the greatest learning tool ever invented. Think about the barrier to entry for learning a language 20 years ago. You needed classes, expensive tapes, textbooks. Now, you download an app.
Right.
Adam calls this a boon for beginners.
But, and there's always a but, we don't mostly use it for learning French, do we? We use it to scroll.
We do!
And this is where we get into what the guide calls the double-edged sword, the social media paradox.
This is the part of the guide that felt the most urgent to me. He breaks down the good and the bad with almost like surgical precision.
Well, the good is easy. Sharing our lives, photos, my aunt in Florida seeing my kids grow up. That connects us.
It does. Adam mentions specifically that it allows us to stay in touch with distant family, it shrinks the world. But then there's the bad. And Adam highlights a very specific psychological damage. He doesn't just say it wastes time.
Yeah.
He talks about comparison.
Yeah. The highlight reel effect.
It's fascinating that a basic guide touches on this deep psychological issue. Adam warns that when you look at that screen, you aren't seeing reality. You are seeing a curated performance of someone else's life.
Their vacation, their perfect meal, their smiling selfie.
And meanwhile, you're sitting there in your pajamas with a stain on your shirt, feeling like a total failure.
Exactly. If you compare your internal mess, your anxieties, your bad hair day, your dirty kitchen, to their curated exterior, you will inevitably feel miserable. Adam says this leads to genuine unhappiness.
So what's the prescription? Does he say delete the apps? Because that's the standard advice from a lot of digital minimalism gurus, and frankly, it's not realistic for most of us.
No, and I appreciate that. He doesn't go that far. He talks about balance and health. He treats it like a diet. You don't stop eating food because junk food exists. You just recognize some things make you feel sick.
So if an app is making you feel bad, the tool is no longer serving you.
You're serving the tool.
Exactly. He says technology should support your life, not control your emotions. If you close an app and feel worse than when you opened it, that's a red flag. That's the awareness kicking in again. You have to be the one to say, this isn't helping me right now.
It's not all doom and gloom, though. He does get a bit sentimental about how communication has shifted.
He does. He contrasts the instant nature of today with the snail mail era. Writing a letter, buying a stamp, walking to the post office, waiting 3 weeks for a reply.
I think we forget how isolating that could be. We romanticize the letter, but if you needed help or just to hear a voice, you were, well, out of luck.
Adam specifically mentions video calls. He says they make the world feel smaller and closer. And I think after the last few years, we all feel that deeply.
For sure.
Being able to see a face to bridge that emotional gap instantly is a miracle we've gotten bored with.
It's true. We complain about Zoom fatigue, but the alternative is just silence.
Right. Now, moving from connection to information, Adam uses an analogy that I think is brilliant, but it also serves as a massive warning sign. He calls the internet the big library.
I like that image. Sounds cozy. It implies stacks of books, quiet study, reliable sources.
It does. It implies order.
Okay.
But imagine a library where anyone can walk in, write a book in crayon, and shove it on the shelf next to the encyclopedia.
Oh.
And there are no librarians to check it.
That is a terrifying image. But yeah, accurate.
That's the internet. Adam's big warning here is not all information online is true.
It sounds so obvious, doesn't it? Don't believe everything you read, but we see it every single day. People sharing headlines they haven't even read, scams, fake news spreading like wildfire.
Digital literacy is the new literacy. Adam gives advice that sounds simple but is actually quite rigorous for the user. He says, do not believe everything you read. Use trusted websites. Learn how to check information.
So he's basically saying that in the old world, the publisher or the news anchor did the fact-checking for you. In the digital world, you are the editor-in-chief.
You are. Skepticism is your safety belt. If you drive down the information highway without it, you are going to crash. You have to verify. Adam is saying that being passive, just accepting what the screen tells you, is dangerous.
I want to pivot to the section that I think causes the most anxiety for a lot of people. We've talked about phones and the internet, but let's talk about livelihood, work, money.
The survival stuff.
Yeah, and Adam brings up the pandemic, which feels unavoidable when talking about modern tech.
He frames it as a lifeline. And he's right. Without remote work tools, without online schooling platforms, society would have ground to a total halt.
Absolutely.
It proved that technology is a resilience layer for civilization. Even when the physical world shut down, the digital world kept the lights on.
He mentioned schools, specifically projectors, online platforms. It allowed students who couldn't physically go to school to still attend. But then we get to the flip side of that efficiency. The same technology that saved us is also the thing threatening to replace us. He talks about automation. And he doesn't sugarcoat it, does he?
He really doesn't. He acknowledges the reality. Machines are faster. They don't get tired. They don't need coffee breaks. In factories, hospitals, offices, automation is winning the efficiency game.
Right.
Adam says explicitly that machines reduce hard work and save time, but he acknowledges the fear that comes with that, the fear of being obsolete.
So if I'm listening to this and I'm worried about my job, what does Adam say? Is it just, good luck, the robots are coming?
No, thankfully. He proposes a shift in strategy. He says, don't fight the machine. Don't try to be faster than the robot. You will lose.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, learn new skills.
Upskilling.
Adaptation. It's about moving up the value chain. If the machine can do the heavy lifting or the data entry, the human needs to do the managing, the creative thinking, the empathy.
It's the difference between the person digging the ditch with a shovel and the person operating the excavator.
Perfect analogy. Adam says even simple skills learning to write better emails, understanding basic software, can leverage you out of the replaceable zone. He views technology as a ladder, not a trap door, but you have to be willing to climb.
And that climb leads us inevitably to the top of the mountain. The buzzword to end all buzzwords right now, AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Now, usually on this show, when we do a deep dive on AI, we're talking about large language models, neural networks, compute power.
Yeah.
It gets dense.
It does.
Adam keeps it shockingly simple.
He defines it as machines that can think or learn in a small way, like humans.
In a small way. I found that phrasing really grounding.
It is. It strips away the sci-fi nightmare. He's not talking about Skynet or robots taking over the government. He's talking about Siri setting a timer.
Yeah.
He's talking about Google Translate helping you order coffee in a different country. He points out that we are already using AI every single day.
It's already here. It's just invisible.
It is. When a doctor uses an imaging tool to spot a tumor the human eye might miss, that's AI. When your watch tells you that you didn't sleep well, that's AI.
The health section was interesting to me because that's a clear case where the machine is better than us and we're happy about it.
Yeah.
I can't count my own heart rate while I'm sleeping. I need the tool.
Exactly. It extends our natural capabilities. And this brings us to Adam's mindset for the future. He says learning is a lifelong process.
This is the antidote to the fear, isn't it?
It is. The anxiety comes from the idea that I learned how to work in 1990 and now the rules have changed. Adam is saying, yes, the rules will change constantly.
Right.
If you accept that you will always be a student, the changes stop being threats and start being opportunities.
So don't hold on to the way things were. Stay curious.
Curiosity is the best defense against obsolescence.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from the morning alarm to the AI revolution. But I want to land the plane on Adam's ultimate conclusion. Because after all this, he makes a statement about the nature of technology itself.
He says technology is neutral.
Neutral.
It is neither good nor bad. It has no moral compass. It's a mirror.
That puts a lot of pressure on us.
It puts all the pressure on us. And that's what he calls responsibility. He talks about digital citizenship. If you use the internet to learn, to connect, to build, it's a benevolent force. If you use it to bully, to deceive, to doom scroll, it's a destructive force.
The algorithm doesn't care.
The algorithm doesn't care. You have to care.
It reminds me of that Spider-Man quote. With great power comes great responsibility.
It's a cliche because it's true. We are walking around with supercomputers in our pockets. We have the power of God's instant knowledge, global communication. But often we have the wisdom of, well, tired humans.
Tired humans looking for a dopamine hit.
Right. So Adam's final advice is simple. Technology is here to help us. We should use it wisely. It's a call to return to agency. You are the operator.
I love that. It circles right back to that 6:30 a.m. moment. When you reach for the phone, you are making a choice.
Every single time.
This has been such a refreshing reset. Sometimes you get so caught up in the newest thing, the latest gadget, the newest app, that you forget the foundational principles of how to live with this stuff.
Absolutely. It's good to clear the cache every now and then, go back to basics.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Adam's Essential Guide, we want to leave you with a visual to carry around with you today. We've talked a lot about technology being a tool, like a hammer.
Right.
And we know that a hammer can build a house, or it can smash your thumb. It depends entirely on who is holding it. So look at the device in your hand or on your desk right now. Really look at it.
And ask yourself the big question.
Are you holding the handle? Or are you the nail?
Oof, that's the one.
Think about it. Are you driving the tool to build the life you want? Or are you getting hammered by notifications, distractions, and somebody else's agenda? The source suggests the difference isn't in the tech. It's in your awareness.
The choice is yours.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Put the phone down, go outside, or, learn a language. We'll see you on the next one.